How's it going, everybody? This is Francisco Ortega on the 7th episode of the Anointed Men's podcast. Here we have a special guest. His name's Cesar. Cesar from A Thinking Boy podcast. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Of course, bro. Of course.
Yeah, how you been, man?
Thank you so
Long
much
time
for
no
having me
talk.
on.
I think it's been what, over a year since we.
Yeah, I think the last time was like a year ago, huh? When you guys came on.
Yeah. When we had the soccer league.
A lot has changed, eh?
For sure, bro. What you been up to, man?
Oh man, I've just been busy, honestly, bro. Yeah, I've been super busy with like photography. 'Cause that's what I do on like the side.
Yeah.
And work has been picking up like crazy. So like we were talking about earlier today that like she texted me like I just got off of work and I was like I'm still the same way. I was still at work. I was taking my little break. Around the holidays we usually pick up. I work for like a warehouse.
Okay.
For I can't say that company, but it's for like a pharmacy that isn't CVS.
Oh, okay.
So it's the alternate.
So it's like a private, yeah.
Yeah, kind of. So like whenever they get busy, like it's super hectic.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, just been staying busy, honestly. This whole year I've been like pretty busy.
Yeah, I think usually everybody during the holiday times, because they're trying to, do more shopping. They're more
Right.
They're trying to put more in, more overtime in, and so.
Dude, I haven't did any Christmas shopping at all.
Really? Yeah, same here now.
Yeah,
I always leave everything till last minute. Dude.
Yeah,
it's a bad habit of mine.
Like a week out, I think, is when I kind of like.
Yeah, same here, and I'm like, you got Amazon now. Like, it's like you don't even have to go to the stores anymore, dude.
You know what I do, bro? Honestly, I do Target curbside.
Okay.
I'll just do like.
You just pull up.
I'll knock out like probably like 80% of my gifts.
Okay.
And then like low key, I'll like affirm it too. I'll like, you know what I'm saying, paying for if I'm really like how much, depending on how my pockets are.
Yeah.
Depending on how my pockets are looking, but I'll do that. I'll pull up, they'll load everything in my trunk, and then I'll just go home and wrap everything.
Yeah.
And then I'll get like the few outliers, like my mom or something like that. Like I'll go out and get those gifts like over the weekend.
Yeah, there's no shame in that. I use Affirm. Like I've used Affirm for like traveling, dude. They do it for like Expedia as well.
For sure, dude. They come in clutch.
It comes in handy, especially when you don't have the money. Like, shoot, I know I've been there, dude. So, and so tell us a little bit about your podcast. Like, I mean, obviously I mentioned the name, but like, what made you come about?
Yeah, thinking about so I've always been into podcasting, bro. I was thinking about that on the way over here. I've been into podcasts, like listening to them since like 2011, 2010.
Okay.
Really early, like listening to them, like Ricky Gervais or like Kevin Smith has one. There's this one called Tell 'Em Steve Day, which is like an old school like podcast I've been listening to for years.
Okay.
So it's something I've always wanted to do. And then it wasn't until like around the time I started getting into photography where like the idea of like doing video stuff kind of came into play, because for a while I was just taking photos. And then I was thinking about it and I was like, I need mics. And my brother, he's a voice actor. So he was able to give me like his old mics, and he goes through mics like crazy. So he's always like, anytime he would advance, he'll give me like old ones, like old like USB mics.
Yeah.
So he'd give me one, and then I'd be like, all right, cool, I have one mic. And then he'd give me another, and I'm like, all right, I have two.
Yeah.
So
what am I gonna do with it?
Yeah, I was like, I have two, and I have like I just bought a camera too because of photography. So I'm like, I don't really have like an excuse to not do this anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like I have the equipment now, so that's pretty much it, bro. Just doing that, and then having like just kind of wanted to document kind of like little increments of my life.
Okay.
So I think I started in either 22 or 23. I can't remember.
Cool.
But I'm 28 now, so it's been like a couple 3 years, I think.
Yeah, that's been a while. Yeah.
So it's been like 3 years, kind of like going through the podcast. I just did episode 100 this year.
Really? Congratulations, bro.
I appreciate you, man. It's a long way.
I bet. Yeah.
It's a long way, dude.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But yeah,
what do you usually interview?
It depends. I would like DM people on Instagram and kind of be like, yo, if it's like usually it's like musicians. Honestly, I think most of the people that I have on there are like musicians or like some kind of artists in a sense, or like fellow photographers, or sometimes it's just like people that I know, like friends and stuff like that.
Right on. Cool, man. You said your brother does voice acting like for movies, or what exactly?
More like I'd say more like
commercial
anime dub kind of thing.
Oh, okay, cool. Right on.
It's funny because shout out to Nick. He's actually going to a convention tomorrow, bro.
Right on.
His first time. Well, not really. It's funny because like I don't know what hurricane it was, but I think it was either Rita. It was the one like right after Katrina that like was gonna hit
Ike
here.
or whatever. Yeah, one of those. Yeah, I can't.
But my brother was super young. He was born in like 03. And I remember him being like 1 year old and my mom being like, yo, we got to get out of here. It's going to be hectic. So like, we went with my aunt and we went to Dallas just to sit there for a little bit. And I'm just like, yeah, Dallas. You know
Yeah.
So like, it's funny because the convention he's going to, he's like, man, I'm finally leaving Houston for the first time ever. And I'm just kind of like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, where's the convention at? He's like, Dallas.
Okay.
So the first time he left, Houston was in Dallas, and now he's going back all these years later, like going to Dallas to a convention. So
So that convention you're talking about, that one's
yeah,
in
so that
Dallas as
convention
well.
is more like I think it's
Okay.
gonna be in Fort Worth actually, but it's gonna be like an anime convention.
Oh, okay,
I
cool.
forgot what it's called exactly, but it's some kind of anime stuff where he'll meet like fellow voice actors and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
kind
I have a lot
like
of friends that are into that. Yeah.
dude, it's pretty cool,
Yeah.
man. It's pretty cool. He was telling me some stuff, and I was like, wow, like it seems pretty interesting the way he like breaks it down of like how you even enter into the whole like
the
thing
theory
like that.
behind it and everything. The neighbors right here, dude, like they're really into Demon Slayer
Oh yeah.
to the point where like they wrap their truck in it. So like the whole truck has, and like a lot of them, like they'll get together here on the weekends,
Right.
and a lot of them have like different kind of like anime wraps on their vehicles.
That's
it looks
cool.
pretty.
That's
Yeah, it
pretty
looks pretty
cool,
cool.
bro.
Yeah, it
That's
looks pretty
pretty
cool.
cool. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I probably wouldn't do it, but you know, like it looks.
It's
cool.
pretty cool, dude. Yeah, like it's funny because I just got into Demon Slayer this year. There was a movie that came out, and my friend was like, "We're seeing this movie. You have to like marathon it." And I'm like, "All right, cool." So it was only like 50 episodes, but it's a pretty interesting show, bro. It's a lot of It's funny seeing the different like the culture differences from like the cartoons we get over here than the stuff they get over there
in Japan. Yeah,
it's like super mature over there.
Yeah,
like,
because didn't it originate from Japan? I think like anime as a whole.
Yeah, anime as a whole is like a Japanese thing. I think Korea as well is starting to get into like some kind of like manga and stuff like that. They're not, it's not called manga, it's called something else. But I think Solo Leveling is one that's like a.
So they're starting to meddle with it as well.
Yeah, they're trying to mess with it a little bit.
On. Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, like I have a lot of friends that are into it as well, and like I didn't think it was so big. Like they have communities of them, like online and like in person, dude.
Yeah,
like said, they'll have their own conventions as well. So it's pretty neat to see.
I've always been a fan of like Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so,
what
like,
we grew up with. Yeah, correct.
But like you said, growing up, it was kind of like a niche thing where it wasn't as big. Now it's like huge.
Yeah.
Bro. Now it's if you go to IG and just scroll, you'll see like something.
Yeah. Like I don't even know when the new Super's coming out anymore.
I have no idea, bro. That's
like I know they're doing the what do they call that? I guess the manga.
The manga, the books, yeah.
But it's just like no release date.
I don't know, man. Especially after Homeboy passed away. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
Like, forgot his name. Yeah.
Toriyama.
Yeah.
Shout out to Toriyama. Yeah, that was sad, bro.
Yeah,
that was sad for me. I was like, wow.
He was young, right? Like he wasn't.
He wasn't that old, bro. Honest to God, like a lot of these, I don't know, bro. A lot of them people in Japan, they pass away like kind of young or like at odd ages, and a lot of them are like manga artists. There's another dude who does this anime or this manga called Berserk. It's super like not. It's very mature. It's like very brutal. Honestly, like it's super dark. But he never finished the story, bro.
Really?
He never finished the story. So like, there's this great story that's just like waiting, and people are just waiting.
Untold, yeah.
And now his, I think his apprentices or like people that were like his underlings are like kind of like finishing the book for him because they have like bullet points to go off of. But I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kind of like it's more like a waiting game, you know?
Exactly. Right on, man. Outside of podcasting, what else do you do? Like, I know you mentioned the photography and stuff like that.
Yeah, photography is probably the biggest thing that I do. Like outside of the whole podcast thing or like my YouTube video and stuff like the YouTube videos and stuff like that. Yeah, I got into that. I think 2020 around during COVID. Yeah, because like I continued to work at my job. My regular job like never stopped. So like I was considered an essential worker. So we just kept pulling up. And working and stuff like that. So like the cash that we got from like the stimulus checks, I just had extra cash on me. Yeah. So I was like, man, I always liked photography. I would always edit photos on my phone, just like on my regular like before I got an iPhone, I had like a Samsung. Okay. And I would spend like 30 minutes editing photos like super like detailed and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, well, I have cash. Like, let me like invest in the camera. Correct. And just kind of like snowballed from there.
Yeah, dude, like I never knew how expensive some of these lenses are, bro. Like
it
wasn't until I had the soccer league and like I started seeing like different prices, dude. And I was like, dude, this is crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah.
You would think like the camera is worth more, but sometimes the lenses were worth more than the cameras.
Dude, so funny enough, so the first one that I got, I had this like Sony RX. It was about the size of our phones, basically. Okay. It was like a point and shoot. I used to sneak it into concerts all the time. They never used to like, tell me anything. But I was shooting my boys like motorcycle or something like that. I never bring my tripod like out and about. Yeah, correct. Just because I'm like my hands are pretty steady, so I'm able to like record everything. Okay. But bro, I had it on there and it totally like fell and just like. Oh man. And it was one of those like lenses that like come out and then come back in, and a rock had got stuck in there. Bro, I had like a week just like fiddling around with it, unscrewing everything, and then I took it to a camera shop or a repair shop. Okay. and this Asian, it's funny, he was Asian too, and he's just like, I'll be honest with you, bro. He's like, it's gonna be more expensive to fix this, just get like a new one. And I was like, dang, okay. So after that, I went to Best Buy and I saw like a Canon. I got like a Canon. Like you said, bro, it was that much. It was like 500.
Yeah.
But the lenses,
yeah,
there's when it comes into play, like how expensive they are.
At the beginning, I was renting them out, but then I was like, dude, this is starting to add up. You know,
I've never done that before, bro. How was that?
I mean, it's not bad. Like they work, they serve their purpose, but it's just like it starts to add up to where it's like, damn, like you know, I'm paying like $50 here, $50 there, but it's just like. And it's not mine, and I have to take it back. And like the place that I was renting it out from, like it was too far. Like it was almost going to Katy. So I was like, dude, like that's a drive. Like I'm just gonna buy one.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, let me just buy one, and that's what I did. I had a little bit of money left over from
in the long run. You think about stuff like that, huh? Because gas and stuff like that, all the other costs that like add up to it. Yeah.
Like it might be convenient for like 1 or 2 games. You know, if that's all you're gonna do. But if you have a complete league where you need constant like. You know, constant flow of pictures, like, you know, you need your own lens.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to get more stuff like that. I really just need to get like a video camera because I do video with the camera that I have now.
Okay.
But there's like a lot of limitations to it. Like it's like a 30-minute limit that I can record like max, which is like, it's not bad, but if I'm doing like a podcast like this, I always have to like stop in the middle of it and then go reset it.
So are those more expensive? Like are the camcorders or what they
Yeah, bro, to be honest, that's a good question. I don't think so. Probably, I bet you they're around the same. I would just have to find one that's compatible with the lens that I have.
Okay.
And that's about it. But I would want to have like at least 2 so I could have like a
different angles. Like
bro, because I went on another podcast and I'm like, man, their setup is crazy. Like way more like elaborate than like mine's. I mean, even you've seen mine's just in my room, you know what I mean? My bed is like 2 feet from like where we're at. But I kind of like that though. I kind of like the DIY. And now that I have I have like an audio interface. That Ulysses, shout out to Ulysses from Inside the North Side. He put me onto like Roadcast and like roadcasting and stuff like that. So I have like a traveling one that I could kind of take anywhere, bro.
Okay.
I could have brought it here and we could have used the mics to record, or like if we wanted to like record at like a library or a beach.
Yeah.
We could take it there and like just as long as it has like an outlet, we should be good.
That's good. That's so like what was this? Camera. I got my train of thoughts back in order. But
I'll be yapping, bro.
So like, you know, this is a Christ-centric podcast.
Yes,
like
yes.
What's your take on that? Like, do you believe in God? Do you not believe in God? Like, are you in the middle? Are you on the fence about it?
I'd say I'm more agnostic.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been like straight up like God doesn't exist. I don't think I've ever been to like the atheist level like that. I think I've always been like more agnostic and more kind of like the preaching like I don't know. Like I hope he's like everything is true, you know what I'm saying? I hope the stuff that's like being taught is like accurate and stuff like that, because I feel like that would be like such it'd be like crazy, bro. The fact that like all that stuff got like passed down and the word was like true all those years, like if it turns out to be like a thing. But yeah, I'm more agnostic, you know what I mean? I think I was raised Catholic.
Yeah.
And I kind of like, to this day, I kind of always have like a respect for my family and stuff like that, because they still do like rosaries and stuff like that. So I'll show up and stuff like that. And I've always been a fan of the imagery. Okay. I got like a cross tattoo, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay, cool.
Stuff like that, or like even like I said, some of the rosary pieces are really, really nice. Or you go to like a Catholic church and like just the visuals are like really, really beautiful. So I always have a love from that aspect, and I think I always have some kind of aspect of like I say, because of my family, like if it's like God forbid, like a funeral or something like that. But I always have like I respect like stuff like that. So I kind of have like I think part of me will always be not want to say it's religious per se, because I do feel like I'm agnostic, like straight up, but like a respect aspect of it, where like out of respect for my family, I have like
like you wouldn't shun someone just because they have
not at all, dude. Especially because like
belief than you,
no, definitely not. I've definitely seen like religion help people get like sober. You know what I'm saying? I have friends that like turn to religion to get like super sober and stuff like that, which I think is cool. And I think it can be a cool thing. I'm just more of like, whenever I see it being like exploited or stuff like that, I'm just kind of like it puts like a bad taste in my mouth, you know?
Yeah, and it's like I spoke to Ulysses about this on our episode as well. You know, he says like it's those people that go out there with, you know, placards and they're like, oh, believe in God or die, and it's
right, that kind of
it's just counterproductive, you know. It's just like, why don't you come at this person from a different stance, even just with a different question? Like you don't have to hold anything up or want to hit them with the Bible or anything. Like it just ask them a question, like just like you would any other person, and then you start to begin to engage in the conversation with them that could lead you, you know, to something else. Like, hey, well, you know, what kind of walk of life do you come from, or you know, do you believe in God, or whatever, anything else other than just like, hey, like I'm gonna,
that's
you know, I'm
super
gonna judge you,
extreme.
you know.
Yeah, no, that's super extreme and stuff like that. Yeah, that is interesting, bro. I don't know how that even got started to where like I'm sure you've been to like a club or something like that. Then just outside people are just yelling like,
Yeah, yeah. And I used to think like, man, what are these people doing? Like
bro,
you're catering to the wrong
I'll
people.
be
But
thrown off. I'm like, why are you what? Like churches in like 5 hours,
I think
bro.
my perspective on their approach has changed. Like maybe it's not the best approach, but I do believe because I look back during that time where I was partying and clubbing and drinking and all this other stuff. I needed it, even though I was like, oh yeah, whatever, you know. Looking in hindsight, like I needed that, you know. Maybe if I hadn't been out in the clubs, like maybe I would have been, you know, closer to God or you know further down in my faith. But it's not until you kind of fast forward. You know, I think that everybody goes through that. You know, when you're young, you like want to experience life and you want to do all these things that you feel like you know you're on top of the world.
Right.
And so like you just want to do everything. Or at least that's how it was for me. And it's not until like you get a little bit older that you're just like, man, you know, like all that stuff's gone. Like, you know, high school's gone.
Right.
You know, my past life is gone. It's like, what else is out there? You know, like
A lot of life left.
yeah.
There's a lot of life left for sure. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I never. It's funny, man, because I've been agnostic for like at least since I was like 12 years old.
Okay.
Super young. I've always kind of like thought about life in a different way and kind of like, man, what's going on? Like, what is out there, stuff like that. So that's interesting. So I've always had that kind of in the back of my head, but yeah, I don't know, man. That is very interesting that you're saying that. Yeah, I can see it. What kind of like led you, or I'd say like, at what age did you kind of realize that like you needed to turn a different leaf?
2012 was when I first came into it's the closeness, you know, into like experiencing God. That was literally, I can't remember, like, what, 2025, 13 years ago. I'm 34. Was that 23? 20.
Okay.
I'm not really that good at math, but like, in my 20s, right?
Right.
And it was through like a kind of like an event where I just kind of had no one to turn to, and like that's when I was like, you know what, I need to start to seek the truth. And I was like, I started going like, because I was raised Catholic as well, but I just never really felt at home. Is the best way I can describe it. And you know, I've said this in the past. I went to the Mormons church. I went to the Jehovah's Witnesses. I went to a Baptist church, and it just none of it, like, and Baptists are Christians as well, but it just never felt right, you know.
Okay.
And so it wasn't until like I came to Christianity, like an evangelical church, where I was like, well, this is weird, but like there's something in this. And so I was like, at first I was like, I was just gonna dismiss it, like, no, these people are crazy, like they're dancing, people are falling out and stuff like that. And I was like, this is a little bit too much for me. But like I think the more I started to seek that relationship, where I was like, man, I had to experience it for myself. And like just one day in church while I was worshiping, it just like I felt like this essence come over me, where I was just like, man, dude, like I feel at peace. I'm not angry no more. I'm not depressed. And you know, a lot of people tone it to like, you know, it's chemical, you know, you're having like a momentary just like endorphins or whatever, but no, dude, like it's something that's inexplicable that I can't really put into words, where it's just like you just kind of know, you know. And it's just like, and granted, like I've said it in the past, like after that 2012 experience, like I was in and out multiple amounts of times. So I was a hypocrite in a sense, you know, because it's like, well, I want this, but I also want my current life. And so it was like a decade of that. And like I've told you on the past episode where you were on, like that's when, like when I got sick is when I was like, dude.
Oh yeah. I
that
remember
that was the deciding factor. Like I felt like you're either gonna get right or you're gonna die, you know? And so like I was like, well, I have no option no more. So it's not like even now, like I can't party like I used to. Even if I wanted to, let's say per se, I can't, like physically, I can't. Like I barely have enough energy to go to work. And so
Right,
yeah, so it's just
right.
like it's almost like everything's been kind of limited up to now to the things I can do. So that was my experience with
Dude, you definitely seem like super chill, super calm. I was thinking about that on the way too, like how. So do you ever have like depressive thoughts at all? Does that ever like come
yeah,
into your
like
head at
I've
all?
even well, not as much now. I
Mhm.
mean, obviously we all deal with the
Right,
day in
right,
and the days
yes.
outs of everything. Like the stresses, like that's unescapable. Like you're always gonna deal with, dude. Like I've even had people like I don't think I mentioned this before, but one morning when I was in Kima, one of my districts is over there because I'm an inspector for the water company.
Mhm.
And normal day, everything was just, as per usual. And so I'm over here taking my pictures of the lots because I take pictures of lots and do other things. And there was a guy working on a little bobcat, like a backhoe thing. And he was like clearing out like the lots. And I guess he thought, I mean, at the moment, I just didn't know what was going to happen because I was just taking pictures. He rushes over here in the bobcat and gets out. He's like, "Why are you taking pictures of my truck and my trailer?" I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" I was like, "No, dude. Like, I'm doing my job. Like, I'm like, look, I point to the work truck. I'm like, I work for the water company." He's like, "Nah, you're taking pictures of my truck." And like, he got up in my face, dude, and I was
Oh
just like,
man,
"Oh my gosh!" I'm like, "What the heck?" Like,
the testing,
peaceful,
testing a little bit.
peaceful morning. Just like, all right, this dude wants to fight me because he got
Mm.
up in my face, dude. And the old me would have been like, all right, bro, let's
Straight up,
squabble, like,
right, right, right.
But then I thought about it. I'm like, no, like, that's not me no more.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right. He's like, oh, I'm going to call the cops. I'm going to call the cops. I'm like, go for it, bro. I'm like, call the cops. I'm like, I'll call the builders. And, but man, I was so angry, bro.
Oof.
So I was like, so I'm trying to fight that, like, obviously it's like, I always try to hit that WWJD button. Like, what would Jesus do?
Right, right, right.
But it's hard, bro, because it's like your flesh and your spirit, like it says, like Paul says in the New Testament, like are always in a constant fight. They're always in conflict. And so, again, the old man was like, all right, bro, like we're gonna fight this out. Like,
Right, right, right.
but I was like, no, I need a different reaction because if I do that, I'm risking my job. One, because there was white people around. So I was just like, these people are gonna call the cops right away. They see
sure,
two
yeah,
Mexicans fighting, they're gonna
For
be like,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely.
So
You're
one,
definitely in trouble.
I thought about my job. Second, I thought about no, like this guy's being provoked, and that's how like I've been asked before even by my barber. I was like, how do you know like the natural world? Like, how do you know there's a spiritual world? And so I told him a different testimony than this one, but I could have added this one on top of that one. And so I'll save that one for another day.
Gotcha.
But dude, and it's just like I just saw it in his eyes, bro. Like it was crazy. Like it's like he just so livid and angry, bro, and like he wanted to fight me. I'm like, bro, I don't even know you,
How
dude.
old was homeboy?
Yeah, like maybe in his 40s.
Okay.
Now, granted, I did give him grace when the builders came over and they were just like, yeah, he just had some issues with the cops because of the whole immigration thing or whatever.
Oh, okay.
This happened
So
a
he's
couple
already
months
on
ago.
edge.
Yeah,
He's
like,
already on
this had just started too. So like I could understand, I could commiserate, but at the same time, like you don't do that to people.
No,
bro.
you don't
Like,
run up to somebody because,
and
like you
so-
said, let's say NHU and it's someone that's not as religious.
correct.
It might just like straight
Yeah,
up
yeah,
throw.
no, that could go south so many ways. And so like the builders came over, they talked to him, like he calmed down, and then he himself came over after a while. He's like, hey man, I'm sorry,
Oh,
like,
that's cool, man.
And so I was like, yeah, we shook hands or whatever, but it was just like, damn, dude, like that happened out of nowhere. And so I was just like, like had I reacted any other way, like again, it could have gone bad.
South, yeah.
So,
On either end, yeah. Especially if he was like was out of his mind and like, God forbid he had a weapon or something like that. You know
exactly.
What I'm saying? He coulda
Yeah,
done
you
something
never
like
know. You
that.
never
You
know.
never know, bro.
And
Yeah,
so,
as I get older, bro, I find myself, in any of those situations, like, because there's been plenty of times where, like, especially where I live at, bro. I live in the hood, but like I'm on the north side, so like every once in a while I just see some like wild stuff happening.
I bet, yeah.
And like I remember one time we were going to Walmart, and I totally did not have a Christ-like reaction. Like I was going to Walmart, and it was me and my brother, and this dude. We're by the metro rail, so like he's like they're all like leaving out. People are just leaving out, and he like just walks by, stops in front of my car, looks at me, and says, "We in the hood now." He's like,
What does that mean?
And I was like, "Huh?" And he's just like, we in the hood now, we in the jungle. And then he like dropped a curse word, like a super like a bad curse word. And I was like, whoa. So like me and my brother look at each other. I'm like, what's up with this guy? So like we're driving by him, and I was like, it was a couple of years ago, so I was like a little more immature. So I was like, I just started flipping him off real quick.
Yeah.
Like as I'm driving super slow next to him, he's like, man, wait, pull up then. So I was like, all right, cool. Pull up real quick into Walmart, get out the car, and we're both kind of like, what's up? He's like, whoa, man, whoa.
Yeah.
Immediately just like, whoa, man, I'm 40 and up. Because I think he was an older dude. He's like, I'm 40 and up, only 40 and up. And I was like, all right, man, what are you going to do? I was like, why are you like making a scene then? Like, what's going on? And he's just like, all right, whatever. So we leave, right? We go do our shopping, we come back, and homeboy's taking pictures of my license plate.
What the heck?
And just all around my car, and I'm like, what are you doing? So again, I'm already like ready, like, all right, what's up? And he's just like, man, I'm recording right now, man. I got you on tape. And in my head, I'm like, what are you gonna show them, bro? Like, what are you gonna do? So he was super, super testing me because like he'd be like, cool, nah, I'm just playing, man. I'm just playing with y'all youngsters, this and that. And then as we walk away, he'll say something like, I wouldn't say racist, but slick for sure. Yeah, something to do with like Mexicans or oh man, fuego or something like that. Yeah. So again, I go back and he's just, I'm just playing, man. I'm just kind of like, what's up with this guy?
Yeah.
And then I took a second and like sit back and I was kind of like, this man's like 40 or 50 years old, riding the metro. Nothing wrong with riding the metro, but like, why don't you have a vehicle? Where's your vehicle at? Like, bugging out over like me, I was in my 20s and my brother was like, I think he just turned 20.
Okay.
So like two youngsters, like, what are you doing on like a random like Friday, like morning? Like, what do you got going on? You know what I mean? So I kind of like looked at him in a different aspect and I was more kind of like, well, I enjoy my life that I have, and I would not want to be that guy right now. I would not want to be riding the metro at like 50 years old, going to get grocery shop, and then having to catch it on the way back. Like, it's just something I wouldn't want to do. Okay. So I was kind of like, and that way I'm just kind of like, we're living two different lives. I don't know what he got going on. Also, he might be like, a little more mental, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I'm just kind of like, I don't know his situation, so I was kind of like, whatever. But in the moment though, in the moment I was heated, bro. I was just like, what's up with this guy? Especially because like, I don't know, man. I'm pretty chill with people. Like, I'm pretty calm. Like, at work, I'm pretty calm. I'm pretty, like, in general, just, like, a super, super chill dude. Like, just naturally. Yeah. I was telling my friend at work, I was telling her that, like, I don't yell. Like, I realized this about myself, like, a long time ago that, like, I never yell ever. Yeah. Like, even at my job, bro, there's people that, like, yell constantly. Like, oh, you have a blue light or, oh, door number 5. Like, stop. I work at a warehouse. It's super loud. I never yell, bro. Really? I'll pull up to somebody. Good. I'll just pull up to somebody and be like, "Hey man, they need you over here," or "Hey man, so and so is looking for you," because I just don't like it. Yeah, I feel like a jerk, bro. Like yelling. I don't know. Something about it.
That's what it is. You know, it's hard to be soft spoken nowadays. You know, because it's like not a lot of people have it. People act on impulse. You know, and I think that's the problem with our day and age society. Is just like everybody wants to shout over each other because they want to prove their point. Right. But in the mix of it, you're not proving anything. Like the other person's not gonna accept your point, and you're not gonna accept theirs. So it's like shouting over each other. That's even in relationships as well. Like it's just you're never gonna come to a common ground because it's like, you know, you're shouting. Like if you just speak calmly, normally, like you're gonna get your point across a lot better than shouting.
And that goes back to what you were saying earlier, how like a person who's super religious and non-religious, like a conversation could like get you in the middle ground. You could kind of meet in the middle and kind of see like, oh, well, these two aspects, like we're on the same wavelength here, just in different ways. You know what I'm saying? I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, because about that. And that's like you said, that's the merger. Like I see a lot of these street preachers, which again, nothing against them, but it's just like, dude, there's better ways, man. There's better ways, and a lot of them are like, oh, do you believe in Jesus? And he's like, oh, why? What are you doing out here? Like Jesus wouldn't want you to be out here. And then it's just like they lose them. And it's like, bro, like you had that person's attention, and then you condemn them, you judge them in the moment. Yeah. Which I'm sure they know is true, right? But it's just like no one wants to hear that. You know? And like had you approached them in a different fashion, maybe they would have stayed and talked to you further. But now because you did what you did, like they're gone.
Yeah, you lost.
And so it's just like I feel like when you're filled with the Holy Spirit, when you have that essence from God, it's just like you're able to speak to people fluently, like you would any other person, and they're gonna again want to hear you more, like be more receptive to it.
And kind of taking the information and be like, all right, I can kind of reflect on it and be like, what's the next step?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
because
see what you're saying.
sometimes, and what a lot of people don't understand is just like, in one sit down, like you're not gonna, I mean, you can, right? You can have the person accept Christ and they could even get baptized in and there. Like I've seen it happen. But sometimes all your job is to do is to plant the seed. And then someone else is gonna water it. And then God's who makes it grow. And that's scriptural as well. So it's like sometimes like what people don't understand is like your sole job is just to plant the seed. And then you let it go and somebody else come along.
Right.
Like these people are just constantly like hounding. It's like, bro, like chill, dude. You know what I mean? Like there's
That's
better
what you're
ways.
saying, dude. Especially because like I'm sure in like your perspective, like them coming back is like that's a pretty big W. You know what I'm saying? That's a big W to get like a turnaround and they end up being like, all right, cool. Like whether they show up to the church or message you about it, it's a pretty big. That's a win. I mean,
yeah, and like I think even like it wasn't. I think I mentioned this in the past. I'm not sure, but I had my buddy Ricky that I've been knowing since high school. Him and I used to go party, all of this kind of stuff. Like they were so bad, dude. And but throughout those years, like as we got older, like I'd be like, hey man, I'm getting closer to God. I'm doing this. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. But like, he'd take it in, but it wasn't until a couple months ago where he was like, hey bro, like I just want to thank you for all those times because like that's exactly what I needed to hear in the moment. And like it's come a long way. I was like, damn, dude, like I didn't even think, like I was just being a good friend and doing what I thought was right at the time. But I didn't think like those things were like actually making a huge impact. And so
sure it can, dude. Definitely.
I was like, damn, dude, like yeah, that got me through some tough times because he had gotten deported as well.
Oof.
So I was like, damn, dude, and he came back. So that's why I was like, shoot, dude, like I had no idea, bro. Like I was just being a good friend or whatever. So stuff like that is just like, damn, I'm glad I'm doing what I'm doing, So
How do you feel about like? Because I feel like in terms of like the political aspect now, or the political landscape, I should say rather, now being religious is kind of tied to the right wing, tied to that
absolutely.
kind of aspect, and it's almost like I said, I feel like they use it to like Trump selling like golden Bibles and stuff like that. Like it's kind of like, you know what I mean? It's just, like very weird. Like,
yeah, I mean, how do I say it? Like, I think they do I want to choose my words right for this. Like, I don't know with what intention they do it, right? But do I believe that to a certain extent they wield, being religious or having faith into their agendas? Yes, I do.
okay.
So, and can it be used and has it been used in the past? Like has the Bible, has God's word, has scripture been used for ulterior motives? Absolutely.
For sure.
And I think that's where I draw the line. I'm just like, okay, I don't associate myself with, again, I have conservative thoughts, but I wouldn't say I'm a far right.
No, yeah, you definitely don't strike me as like a far right person.
I wouldn't say I'm a leftist either because I don't agree with a lot of things from the left. But again, like, and I'm not gonna say we're the only people that need it or people on. No, absolutely not. We all need it. And sometimes I think, like in the New Testament, like Jesus would call the teachers of the law hypocrites because it's like inwardly or outwardly they seem religious, right? They seem like they knew the law of Moses and stuff like that. But inwardly they were ferocious wolves is what the word says. Because it's like outwardly you want to make it seem like you're this holier than thou and no one's like us, but you don't live up to that.
You're not moving that way.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you're a hypocrite.
Interesting. I guess I'm like wolves in sheep's clothing.
Yeah, that's exactly where that term came from.
Oh my God.
And so I think that's the problem with it. I think that's the issue with intertwining politics and religion. I think to a certain extent there should be a divide. Now, where that extent, I don't know. But
I was gonna ask you that as well. Like, how do you feel about like, because there were plenty of times like when I was in college and stuff where I'd be like writing reports, And I remember it was like specifically like just kind of like doing a book report or like a report on like this poem or something like that, and like how do you interpret it, this and that. And like I remember my friend wrote one, and I knew him from like wrestling like way back when, but he ended up like being in my class. And he wrote his, and it was super like religious, like very very God heavy. Like he kind of tied that like super into it, and I didn't know how to criticize it because I'm like, I don't know if I'd like, who am I to like say that he's interpreting the poem the wrong way, you know? But I did kind of want to be like, I don't know what the line is between, I don't know how the teacher would take it.
Yeah.
Like, is she gonna like take it as like a analytical thing, or is she gonna take it as like a, I don't know, kind of like off topic kind of thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because even I think the whole separation of church happened like I think in the early '90s. 'Cause I still remember being a kid and I was watching the news and they're like, oh, like we finally signed the separation.
Right.
I just stayed in church, and so I was like, I remember that, but it's so clear. Like I don't know how I remember that, amongst other things like Power Rangers and other things. But, but I remember that, and so like I know they've tried to implement it again, which I believe is a good thing because it's like, man, sometimes we all just need a reminder. Like even if again, like for example, for an atheist, like they don't believe. Man, dude, like I've like even worked for the water company. I drive everywhere, so I'm up north, south, east. And sometimes I'm just like feeling discouraged, man. And like somebody will literally have like a little, what do they call those? Like a little post outside saying
Jesus fish?
yeah, well, they'll have like a Bible verse or something.
Okay.
And so like I'm just like I just turn and I see it. And I'm like, oh shoot, what the heck? Like just randomly, bro. It's just like, and so I was like, oh okay, that's exactly what I need to hear, you know. So like that's what kind of keeps me going, keeps me moving in the sense that I'm just like, when I need some sort of like confirmation or affirmation, like it just supernaturally happens. Or like I turn to the right and then like there's a random like cross on, like in a barn or something, like just random stuff, dude, where I'm just like, okay, that's way too coincidental.
Kind of keeps everything like tethered. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's kind of what that's what I see. Like maybe who knows? People could argue the fact like, well, when you start to want certain things, you start to notice them more, right? So let's say, for example, let's use a car as an example. You want the new Expedition, just for argument's sake, and you start to view the Expeditions everywhere you go. So your eyes are trained; they're more prone to seeing that,
to spot it.
Yeah, as opposed to before, it was just like you didn't pay no mind to that, and so like I think it could be a little bit of both, because I'm orienting myself closer towards that, but it could also be like, hey, well, maybe my eyes are more focused on it now. So
does like manifestation interplay at all with your religion at all, or?
Well, it depends on what you mean by manifestation.
I'd say more like I don't want to say dreams and goals necessarily, but like you manifesting like I want to own this house type stuff, or I want to like get a car, like stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, in the sense that like we always go to God, at least I do. I can't speak for all Christians, but I would hope everybody's on the same page. So like, and I never used to do this. I just used to act upon my own free will, like, and just hope that it happens. But as life went on, dude, you start to realize like more than half of the things don't happen, even if you try and you try hard or you work your ass off. So like, I realized that now I try to bring everything to God. I'm like, hey, God, if this is your will, allow it to happen. And sometimes, most of the time it does. Most of the time it does, and sometimes it doesn't. And I start to wonder, like, why? Like, why? But I think God is a God of the past, the present, and the future. So He already knows what your finite, your how you're gonna end. And let's say had you gone that route, it may or may have not been a good route for you. And I think sometimes when God says no to certain things, I think it's because it could have led you a very bad path. So that's kind of how I perceive it now.
Do you interpret it the same way with like tragedy? Like if something tragic happens, God forbid, but
kind of like causation is what you're saying.
Causation, almost. That's crazy. That's crazy because in that Berserk manga that I mentioned earlier, they have a thing called causality.
Causality.
And it's very like similar to that. That like this is gonna always happen, like regardless of what.
Even the Bible, and people like they don't like to atone it to karma, right? Because they're like, well, if you believe in Jesus, you don't believe in karma, which we don't, right? But the Bible does say you reap what you sow. So if you're sowing seeds of discord, well, guess what? What do you expect that's going to come your way?
Yeah, no.
Because everything does have a consequence, whether you want to call it causality, causation. Every action that we take or don't take will have a consequence, whether it's good or bad. And people might argue with me about this, but it's true. It's like I'm not putting my faith in that, but I'm putting my faith in God that regardless if I go through trials and tribulations, like I'm gonna come out on top. And even if I don't, like God is still good. Because that's how I see it. People always want to throw this out and be like, well, if God exists, why does evil exist? And that is a tough question. It's like, well, there's a fairness to things, right? God is fair. God gave us free will. With that free will, he allowed good and evil to exist. And our actions, I can tell you from my perspective, my actions have sometimes dictated what it was that my outcome. Because I was like, had I not done that mistake, I wouldn't be in this position. But regardless, God is merciful and gracious to the point that even through that bad thing, like I still came out on top. Because like now, for example, now I have my son. And like I've learned so much being a parent, dude. Even though it was tough.
How old is he? I was gonna ask you that
5.
earlier. 5? Okay.
Yeah, he's 5, and it's like it was some tough time, bro. Like those are some of the darkest times I've been through.
I bet, dude.
Because it's just like there's so much uncertainty, lost a lot of things materialistically, and I had to make some
sick, bro. Whenever they would get sick.
Yeah, and then you get sick. I mean, that's literally what happened with the COVID thing, dude. Luckily, he hasn't had any residual anything. My mom and I have, but yeah, dude, like you have to like, and I still remember, dude, like he was like, he could not breathe, bro.
Oof.
Like that weekend, I stayed up till 4 a.m. I think I got maybe like 2 hours of sleep, if that. But it's just like, he came sick from Corpus, and I'm not gonna go into the details because I don't want to throw.
I think you talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, because there's a lot more details, dude,
yeah.
and I don't want to again talk bad about anybody or anything. But let's just say, I stood up to the plate, took care of business, and that had it was a cause and effect, and I wouldn't do it any other way because it's just like that's my son,
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's interesting, man. That's interesting stuff. Like I said, I've never really had like a problem with religious people because I know how much it like helps them, or I would say how much I've seen, at least in my family, how much it like anchors them.
Yeah.
And kind of keeps them grounded. I feel like, especially with like, I don't know if they do like sanjudas and stuff like that. Okay. Especially like my family, so like they're super into that, or like I said, the rosaries and stuff like that. So it's very much like it's a thing that like, all right, we're gonna pray, but it's almost like let's gather everyone here.
Yeah, it's communal.
And like, yeah, it's super communal. Like they don't even like, my aunt wouldn't even like message me about like other holidays like that. But like whenever it comes to rosary, she's like, she'll tell like me, she'll text like my mom to tell me, to tell my brother to tell me. She's very much like, I want everyone here. Yeah. Like even if we don't pray, but just as long as we're in the area.
Yeah, correct.
And then it's cool because like I have a couple, like one of my relatives, he's like a cop, but then I have someone else who's I think they're in the army. I can't remember. I think it's my aunt's husband. I think he's in the army. So like whenever I went by last time, and I saw they have like a little thing, and they're kind of like praying for them. Okay. Like on the daily, just because like they're out and about doing their stuff. So it's kind of like to like watch over them, stuff like that. So correct. Like I said, I've always been cool with like religious people. I never really been super anti like that, but it's more just my own beliefs that I'm just kind of like, man, I think the world is such like a marvel that I'm kind of like, it's hard for me to wrap my head around everything, but more I'm just kind of like I said, I always throw my hands up like, hey, I hope. Yeah. I hope, dude. I hope it's cool. And believe me, bro, whenever like times get tough, I'll be looking up every once in a while. You know what I'm saying, dude? When I was in Colorado, bro, oh my god.
What happened in Colorado?
Just the ride, bro. The ride over there was rough because like I went with my friend, and it was me, my friend, her mom, her sister, her daughter, and her cousin. So it was 6 people. Correct. And we were in like her mom's like vehicle, and the whole week leading up to it, I was like, man, what car are we driving? Like, I have no idea like what we're gonna be driving. wasn't until like the day before that I saw it. I'm like, all right, cool, Ford Explorer, and I'm kind of like looking up, just research, super bare, just kind of scrolling through stuff. I'm like, all right, cool, this is the kind of car, this is the mileage it takes, all this stuff. And then we like are on the way, and like it's going pretty good. We're like super early in the morning, and then I get the low tire pressure, and I'm like, man, low tire pressure. And in my head, I'm like, to get air in the tire, you know, it'll be all good. So we stop at this local tire shop, and homeboy looks at the tire and he's like, man, I'm not gonna lie to you, you might have to replace this tire. And I'm like, oh, don't tell me that. And then he looks at the one in the back and he's like, yeah, this is almost done too. It's kind of worn already. And I'm like, man. So I tell them, and they're like, oh, we'll get one of them replaced. And I'm like, all right, cool. So we ended up going like it was a whole story, but we ended up going to Walmart, getting one replaced. And then like we're driving, bro, and like less than an hour, the other one just blows out.
Wow.
I've never had a tire blow it out on me, bro. In my life, I've never had that happen. And it was funny because my friend was playing like Beyonce or something. And the streets are like, you just hear like, yeah. And I'm driving, I'm like, man, I should probably pull over.
Yeah.
And they're over here trying to justify it, and they're just like, man, these streets are pretty bad, huh? And I'm like, yeah. And then my friend's just like, man, it's super bad. And then one of them was just like, yeah, they do that so you could slow down. You know, they do that so you could slow down the highway. And I'm like, I don't think that's true. I'm just driving the whole time like, man, I don't know. And she's turning up Beyonce, and I like look in the window, and I just see the tire fly, bro.
Dang.
I'm like, oh my God. So I have to pull over, put on my mechanic hat, like jack up the tire, take the tire off, put the spare on. I had to drive with that spare, bro, for like an hour.
Dang.
Because we're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Nowhere. I had to like go all the way to like Amarillo to like some random Walmart to get the other ones changed. Okay. And like we got to the Airbnb in Colorado at like 11:30, bro, almost midnight. Wow. I was just dead. But believe me, bro, on the way over there, I was kind of like, if you are out there,
help me out.
Yeah, go ahead, watch over me real quick, cause man, dude, I was like, I just needed to get them there. Yeah. Especially cause like being the only dude in the situation, I was like, man, I have to like ensure their safety. Yeah. I'd feel wrong if I wasn't like prepared enough to like at least get them to where we were going, you know?
You'd be surprised how many people don't even know how to change a tire nowadays.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's some crazy work.
I think that's one of just the essential things of being a man is just changing out a tire. Yeah. And if you don't know, like, hey, you know what? I'm willing to teach you. Mm-hmm. Just like my dad taught me, I'll teach others, you know? So it's just like, I don't know, like we've like kind of lost that along the way where it's just like, you can't change it.
I don't know what that is, man. Cause like, I feel like part of growing up, cause I was born in 97. So I kind of feel like I got the best of both worlds in the aspect where I kind of saw technology advance in like 2010s and stuff like that to where like MySpace, Facebook, all that stuff. So like I got to see the world before. So like when people are like, man, y'all kids these days, y'all never played outside. I'm like, dude, I was outside all the time. Like I was outside like 2000 to 2000 like 10, 12. Like I was still running around and stuff. But yeah, man, it's weird because like I remember getting my first car and like having to change a tire. And like I didn't place the jack correctly, so I messed up like the bottom a little bit. But like I got the tire off and I was able to like change the tire. Like I feel like those kind of like experiences are like needed at least. Yeah. So you could like at least know further what to do in terms of like other stuff like that. I don't know, man. As I get older, like I said, I'm 28 now, so like whenever I have like those kind of like things happen to me, I always try to be like super level-headed and be like, what's the solution here? Correct. Whereas before, I just like let it ruin my day. Honestly, like in my early 20s, I'd be like, day's ruined. Yeah. And like woe is me kind of stuff, like just yelling and stuff like that. So I've definitely changed in that aspect. But
that's good. That's a good change. Yeah, because same here, man. Like I used to just kind of let a lot of minute things bother me, and I'm just like, why, you know? It's just like if I'm alive, I'm breathing, like, and I think it's because I saw a lot of people not just pass away recently, but I've seen people that were sick, family members and stuff like that passed away, and where I'm just like, you know what, like I'm not in that situation, so I'm like, whatever this happened, this scenario, like it's not bad, you know. So like I don't know, like now I try to kind of adapt this mentality of like I try to live my day like it's my last. Okay. You know, because it's just like anything outside of that, just like I feel like I'm kind of committing treason to myself. If you get me, like I don't know, but that's just my take on it.
I agree with you, man. Yeah, definitely. I definitely see it as like, and I kind of see things in like with time. I feel like time is such a big thing. Yeah. Like I don't know. As I get older, I feel like time is such a big thing where I'm like, even at work, bro, if like things are like not going well and like it's super hectic. Like I said, recently it's been very, very hectic, bro. Like moving parts, people running around. Oh, you're gonna do this. You're in this department. Now you're gonna move to this department to help that department. Super, super hectic. I always think to myself, like, man, in like 5 hours, 4 hours, I'm gonna be at home chilling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And nothing's gonna change that.
Yeah.
Like, no matter whatever happens at work, like it could be horrible.
Yeah.
Within 5 hours, I will be home and I will be like relaxing.
Yeah, because I've never really understood the people that bring their problems from home to work.
I don't understand that at all, dude. Yeah.
And it's just like, and I guess maybe when I was younger, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
you know, now it's just like, nah, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? Because like you said, you're going to be home, you're going to be chilling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just like, you know, you leave that there.
Yeah. If it's ever super, super bad, bro, I'll like ride in silence and just kind of like let my thoughts out, whether it's me talking to myself or like just riding in silence, kind of like fuming a little bit. And then as I get closer, I'm like, I'm already home. Was there to eat?
Correct.
Like, what's my brother up to? Because he lives with me. Like, what's up? Like, I don't really, I don't know. I got to the point now, man, where I don't even like talking about it. To be honest with you, like, whether it be with girls or other stuff
people
like
ask you about work, and you're just like,
I'm almost just like, I don't want to bore you with it. Yeah, I almost don't even want to bother them or bore them with that stuff like that. But I don't know. Some people, I feel like, I mean, especially like hearing other people's situations like that are different from mine. I'm like, all right, I get like if they have like a personal conflict going on at work. Mm-hmm. Or like they feel like they're getting bullied or something like that. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, I'll hear you out. I don't want to like, you know what I'm saying, disregard your problems. But yeah, with me, bro, I don't know. I'm very much like you said, kind of like leave that at work.
Yeah, passive.
Yeah. And then plus I've been there so long, bro. There's super like routine. It's very like muscle memory. Correct. To where like I could do it and then like I don't even trip, bro. Like I said, if things are coming down quick, it's like whatever. I could like manage it. And I've gotten so used to it and comfortable there that I'm like, I've seen the worst that it's been. Mm-hmm. So like now anything on is just like, it's whatever.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, like you said, it's your mentality on the whole thing. It's like if you shift your mentality to like something that's positive, like the outcome more often than none is going to be positive. And, you know, I've heard Joe Rogan speak about this a couple of years ago where he said, like, if you don't like where you're at, if you're like, you know, digging in mud and running around in mud all day, he's like, you can get yourself out of that situation. You can formulate a plan to where you're going to exit that eventually. Mm-hmm. And again, the lovely thing about being alive and well is that you can do those things.
For sure.
You know, it takes the right mentality and the right plan to be able to get out of those situations. And I've never understood people like, man, I hate my job and this and that, and all they do is complain. And it's like,
you didn't change anything.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing though? Like, what are you doing to get out of that situation? Oh, well, nah, nothing really. Like, well then.
I have, it's funny because I had to work with him today, but I have a friend who, for years, bro, has been telling me that like, man, I'm out of here. I'm out of this job. So-and-so, this is going to happen, this and that. I'm moving over here, I'm moving over there. And I remember this the last time we actually worked together like super closely, I was just like, you're not going anywhere. Like straight up, I was like, bro, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
Like until I come to work and I don't see you here, then I'll believe you. But I know that on Monday you're gonna be there, bro. Yeah. And lo and behold, like whether you go to the night shift or come back, I'm just kind of like, I'm still here.
Yeah, it's like the boy that cried wolf, you know?
Yeah, bro. And it's just kind of like you lose like I keep wanting to use the word equity. I don't know. I've been thinking about that all week, but it's not. I don't think it's equity. It's like you lose faith with me a little bit. Or credibility. Yeah, credit almost. Like you lose like that with me, where it's kind of like, I don't believe it. You have to show it to me. You have to show me that you're not here anymore. Then
I had a real good buddy that was in the same situation, and I kept telling him, like, I even tried to put him on to what I used to do before, which was non-destructive testing. And he did go do the classes and everything, well, one class, and he was trying to get his foot in the door, but it wasn't enough. They're like, well, go get your rope access, but he didn't have money to go get rope access anymore. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, you know, like, so, but like he was trying, but like just everything kind of just, like in that situation where like, well, at least you're trying, you know, like you're not just saying you want to get out of here.
You're actually like striving.
But like it just, for whatever reason, it's not happening. So like I told him, just stay prayed up, man, pray on it. And sure enough, like now he's gone. I mean, it took him like almost a year, but he's gone now. So, and he's doing better.
And old boy is super talented, bro. Like he's an artist, he draws, like he's very, very talented. Like he showed me some of his artwork and I'm like, bro, this is like legit. Like you could sell some of this easily.
Exactly.
And I'm like, Why aren't you doing that?
Yeah, I'll show you one of the paintings. It's like a big painting that I got that one of my buddies, because he took like art. He took like advanced art and all this stuff in high school. And I always told him, I'm like, you can go somewhere with this. And he actually, I'll show you afterwards. He painted one of those lions, like a colorful lion. It looks pretty cool.
Nice.
And he did it from scratch. And I paid him for it and everything. But
that's dope, man.
yeah, like people have talents.
You just gotta like do it, bro. Like I said, like especially like with the like my job is my job, but like I definitely like I feel like you have to have like some kind of passion.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is one thing of the old school that it's like very much like they just were like working, bro. Like my dad and my stepdad, they were just like they're hard ass like just workers. And anytime I visit my dad, he's always kind of like, or my uncles even, they're kind of like, man, come be an electrician, come be this, come be that. And I'm just kind of like, man, I honestly just don't have the passion for it.
Yeah.
And like I don't want to like I know the money's good for sure, and like money's good. I'll be able to get a house eventually, stuff like that. But I'm like, at what cost? I'll be sacrificing like a great bit of my time. Like right now, dude, I work. Like I said, with overtime and stuff like that, it's been a little crazier. But for the most of the year, I work from 6:30 in the morning to 2:30 in the afternoon. Yeah. And I have the rest of the day to take photos. I have the rest of the day to edit. I have the rest of the day to do videos. Like, a lot of free time on my end. Plus, I'm off on the weekends. Okay. So I'm like, dude, I have a lot of time, bro. Yeah. Like, I really enjoy that. Like, I get paid decently, and I also have this time to like make money elsewhere.
Yeah, do
like,
things that you want to do
like
and other things. Yeah, that's good, man.
It's kind of finding that balance. Yeah, and hopefully, eventually,
Yeah, I'm sure something will come up, man. But you're right. You were spot on about the whole spiritual suicide thing, man. Because I see people that go out and they're unhappy in their jobs just because they're getting paid good. And I was one of those people, dude, at one point. And I still remember, like, my hair was falling out, dude, because I was so stressed out. It's like, I was making really good money, but it's just like, dude, I was so stressed out where, like, literally my hair was falling out, dude.
That's scary, bro.
And it's, I was just like, bro, like, I can't, you know what I mean? Like, I can't do this. And so, like, it's weird because, like I said, I always pray on things. And it wasn't the outcome that I expected, but I was gone from there, you know? So it's just like, and then I was like stress free, dude, after I left that job. I mean, just like, I took a hit, like a big hit, like a pay cut, but it's just like, I'm not as stressed anymore, you know? So I think that was a win because I don't know, had I stayed in that job, who knows?
You might have had
anything
like
could have happened,
bro. You might have like some medical stuff going on, honestly.
Yeah, bro. So you just never know, man. And it's like you said, you can't sacrifice, your health for a couple bucks, man.
Yeah. Also, you could be rolling the dice and if you have like a wife and kids and stuff like that, you get to the point where like they never see you and you're just always at work. And it's kind of like, you're making all this money, everything's paid for, we're good. When are we gonna enjoy this? Correct. When are we gonna enjoy some of the like fruits of your labor? You know what I'm saying? If there's like constantly digging, it's like, bro, eventually you have to like come up for air. Yeah. Eventually you have to like hang out with the fam and like stuff like that. Otherwise you lose those kind of like relationships and bonds.
Yeah, I mean, even though the Bible speaks to this, and I think it's the book of Ecclesiastes, it says God gives some people wealth, but He doesn't allow them the opportunity to enjoy it. He and He says this is meaningless. Which is true. So it's like you have everything you told for, like materialistically, but like you said, you never have time to enjoy it. So it's like it's almost like it's a false fortune. You know what I mean?
Dude, let me ask you this because I'm interested in this right now. What do you think? Because I would say I'm like more left leaning and stuff like that. But like, what do you think about like? Because man, you always hear about like these artists and stuff like that, or like these millionaires, or like people that are multi-millionaires and stuff like that. That like have like 100 million in the bank, stuff like that, but they never really, in the history of time, they've never like bonded together to like change anything. You know what I mean? Like they've never actually like said, all right, like as a group, we're gonna put some of our fortune back into whether it be like I'd say just humanity in general.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely, I think, and it goes back to. This is not biblical or anything. Like it just, I don't know if you've seen the original Spider-Man. Yeah. Or with Tobey Maguire, he says, "With great, what did he say? With great power comes great responsibility." Yeah. So I think it's in the same thing. Like once you're blessed with an amount of fortune, this is my take on it, and this is my opinion solely. I think it's good to give back. It's good to help communities. It's good to start to move towards, you know, some sort of change for people, you know? I mean, at least I would.
For sure, yeah.
I don't understand how some people don't. But it's just like,
dude, because I have friends that like they don't make nearly as much as $1 million. I'll be honest with you. They make probably like, I mean, you're talking about maybe like 70,000 or 60, you know, like a little more well off than most, and like they'll even give back a little bit.
yeah,
Like they'll donate here and there, or they'll sign this and that, and like, oh yeah, oh, donate to this community, this and that.
yeah.
But I'm just like, it's weird to me that like like throughout the history of time that it's never really like been
It's
a
never
thing.
happened.
No,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Like you got to think like Elon Musk or the Bezos or something like that, bro. Like if they just put like 0.3% of their stuff back into like the world, not even a full percent, or just put $1 billion, throw it in there.
Yeah. And I think it's because I would say, again, I'm just hypothesizing. I think it's because certain people, artists or whatever, actors, maybe they just have a love for money, you know, and they just like they want to retain everything. You know, I've heard this saying, which I don't agree with. It's like, well, that's the reason they have money. It's like, yeah, but what good is it gonna do if you just leave it in the bank? It's like, yeah, you can leave it in the bank, it'll get accrue interest or whatever, but it's just like, for what? You know, like what are you using it for?
Bro? That's what I'm saying. Or unless the other thing, like you say, even saying like just leave it in the bank, unless their money's just up in the air, you know what I mean? Like unless their money's just kind of like here and there, and they're not liquid like that. But I have to imagine they have some kind of, like, you know what I'm saying, some capital there, or like some kind of account they have.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's been a thing that's been.
I've never
in
understood it either. I mean, I'm also not gonna agree. For example, like Nick Cannon, that has like 20-something kids.
Well, that's wild. Yeah, that is
like that's crazy.
Wild.
I mean, obviously each one of those kids has to be fed, right?
Yeah.
So like, I mean, I don't know. That's a little excessive in my opinion. Like, you know, I think like it's great to have kids, and I know Andrew Tate has said this before. It's great to have a lot of kids, but it's like, what's the quality of the relationship with each one of those kids? You can have 20 kids, but it's just like, and if you support them financially, that's great and all. But it's like, do you have enough time to spend?
It's a lot of bonds, bro.
Yeah, and exactly. And it's like, what's the quality of the bonds? Like, or are you just providing? Because.
And if you're just a provider, then it's like, man,
I
that
grew
relationship
up with a lot
lost,
of kids that had money. Well, not a lot, but a couple. And where they lacked love from their parents. They had everything materialistically, but since their parents were never involved or anything, they're just like, hey, well, here.
They're never home.
Yeah, that's where the problem laid. And so you can't supplement one thing with another. Like either you're active and you're a responsible parent, or you could call financially supporting responsible, but is it really responsible?
Right.
You know, no, it's not. And so like that's why and you know, that's one of the tough things that I had to kind of come to grips with. Like when my son was born, I'm like, do I go offshore and continue to live the way I was living before and retain everything, or do I suck it up, make half of what I was making, and then just have a relationship with him? Had I been more vain, had I been more like into the vanity, I would have been like, yeah, I'm gonna keep my stuff. Like that's fine. Like he'll grow up, you know.
Right.
And I did have a lot of friends that were like that, dude. But I was like, I never want to be like that. I'm like, if I made a conscious decision to have my son, you know, I'm gonna have a conscious decision to be proactive in his life. Like I would be doing him a disservice, a major disservice, if I wasn't in his life.
Yeah, man.
So,
and they always say like, it's always funny to me that they're just like, oh, like, you know, I'll support you for 18 years, but it's for life. I mean, what are we talking about here? This is like child, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it's a lifelong.
It's an ongoing thing.
It's a lifelong commitment, bro. Like until you die, you're gonna be like, you're gonna have some kind of relationship, whether it be good or bad, with your offspring. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I would definitely have did the same thing you did. I just think those bonds are like very, very important.
And there's just certain moments, dude, that you just can't replace. That no amount of money, no going to Dubai, none of that's gonna replace.
First steps.
And like I said, I can mention one that I mentioned before, and it was on one weekend where he was sick. He had to be like 2, 3, I can't remember, but he woke up and you know, he was coughing and stuff like that. And then like, you know, I was holding him, cradling him, and he uttered some words. He's like, I love you so much. Thank you, puppy. And I'm like, bro, like that broke me.
Yeah,
Like I was like, bro, like I'm over here 2 a.m. You know, like he's sick. I'm taking care of him. Nothing could like no amount of partying that I've ever done, no traveling,
No
none of that
money
replaces that, bro.
yeah,
Like none of it. No. And so I was like, this is what I've been waiting for like this whole time. You know?
So what do you think the sweet spot is, bro? Because I was talking to my brother with my friends about this really, but I feel like, because I think at a certain point, like you said, I don't know, bro. At a certain point, people just don't be giving back. It just gets to like I don't know if it's greed or what, but honest to God, like honestly, like if I was like able to take care of my family, my friends are good for the most part, you know what I mean, and I could just be walking around with like. If I could just be walking around at all times with like 60,000 to like 100,000,
it's like those interviews that they do with those rich people. Like, well, what do you do for work? And like, it's all staged or whatever, right? But it's just like that's pretty cool to be one of those guys from the Shark Tank or whatever. They have money like that, and I'm sure they do give. Like, I think I've heard a lot of them that actually do give, which is great. You know, that's what everybody should be doing. Like, even church people. And that's one of the biggest things I've also kind of have argued about. Like, if you're tithing, like that tithe, obviously, yes, it's to support the church, right? The lights need to be paid, there needs to be running water, et cetera, et cetera. I'm all for that. But what else? You know? What else are we doing? Like, my thing is like, all right, that's great. We're keeping the lights on, but what else are we doing? Like, are we giving back to the homeless? Are we giving back to the widows? Are we giving back to the orphans?
Food drives at?
That's my issue with it. And it's I might get bashed for this, but I don't care. And scripturally it says that the tithes were for widows and orphans. People could debate me on that. I don't care. But that's the truth. And so we've turned it into, okay, well, you got to uphold the church now solely, and it's like that's not true. Let's go back and actually read scripture for what it is. And again, people, and I get it, and I'm all for it. Like, hey, let's keep the lights on, water running, and yeah, obviously, if they don't have a job, the pastor doesn't have a job or whatever, then yeah, he can get some money from that, right, to support himself. But it's just like most of the time, if people are tithing their 10%, there's got to be more than enough, especially if you have a big church. And so like my thing, and that's why I've always been like open. Like, I believe that people should keep their books open no matter what, you know? So because it's like, you're not hiding anything.
Yes.
If the books are open, like everybody can see where the money is being allocated. Now, if your books are closed, then that starts to raise questions.
There's a gray area there, yeah?
You know what I mean? Like, but that's my take on it.
And there's a gray area with you if you were to go to that church. There's a gray area for me, the outsider, just being like, they're clearly, you know what I'm saying? There's something not correct going on.
Yeah, because there's been all kinds of things, dude. Like,
what do you reckon about like the mega churches and stuff like that, or like?
I mean, so like for example, like Lakewood. You know, I used to be like, oh yeah, that's too much. That's vanity. Like they're doing too much. But then I got a different perspective. And because I used to stand from a standpoint of, well, like I'm judging them, but it's like, what am I doing for God, you know? And let's say, yeah, maybe it's excessive, maybe it's too much, but at the end of the day, they're still doing a service for God, right? Or let's hope it's for God, right? Obviously. And I'm not just talking about Lakewood, but just in general. But if one person gets saved, then that's good. That's good enough for me. And I used to look at it from a place of like, oh, well, that, you know, they don't need all that. But then I wasn't doing anything. So it's like I was part of the problem. So I'm over here saying and judging, but it's at the same time like,
your actions.
Well, like, what am I doing? You know, like at least they're trying to do something. And even though, yeah, it might be excessive, it might be too much or whatever, like I'm just like, damn, I really had to self-analyze myself and be like, well, what am I doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, two things could be true, I guess. That's the thing that I've been hearing a lot this year, and I feel you on that. One example that I would use is like, during the whole like I won't say the whole like because it's like some kind of like little thing, but whenever the Black Lives Matter movement was going on, I was super like I was into it. I was like, this is like the police brutality and stuff like that. This is horrible, and I was reposting stuff like that. And then you look at the like organization and like not all the members obviously, but there are certain members that are like we're just balling out, buying like mansions, houses, and stuff like that. And I was just kind of like, bro, where's the money going to? Like, what are we donating to? You know what I mean? So I had to separate that where like the organization I'm kind of like iffy on, but the movement, the message is still like, you know what I mean? Black Lives Matter is still it's still a movement that I support. It's still a saying that I support. But there is that kind of like separation where it's kind of like, all right, cool. And I think a lot of people that would see that will be like, oh, well, see, that doesn't matter at all. And they'll kind of throw the whole thing away. And it's like, bro, these people are still getting like brutally assaulted by police and like, you know what I mean? I mean, systematically, like since the beginning, but honestly, like, you know, at that time it was super bad. So I don't know. I think as long as people just kind of see it as a whole and not kind of like throw it away or kind of like disregard the whole thing like that. You know what I mean? Even with the church, like you said, they see like a mega church and like, oh, well, that's just, and they're not seeing your perspective. Like, well, people are still getting saved and this and that.
Correct. So like, I know Candace Owens spoke on the whole Black Lives Matter thing, and she did expose a lot of things as far as the organization and stuff like that. But like you said, you know, like at the end of the day, it's like, you got to remember the essence of it. Like why like the foundation, like why it even started.
Why is it so potent? Why is it so strong?
Because there is police brutality. There is an abuse of power sometimes. I'm not saying all cops are bad, right? But there are certain cases and scenarios where that's happened. And the same thing with churches. Like, I mean, you've seen churches that, you know, were operating in the background as something else, and they were posing as a church.
Or even like cults and stuff like that.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, like, I mean, like there was, I think, like there's a Mormon thing, Mormon movement up north in Mexico or something, where like apparently the only reason they moved up there is because, and again, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is what it was. They moved up there because what they call incest was, it was illegal here in the States, so they went to a country where it wasn't.
What?
And so they have their own community up north. Yeah, there's a whole documentary about it. I think either on Netflix or Amazon, dude.
Oh my God.
And again, it's not to bash Mormons, because I'm sure like not a lot of them are like that. It's just that particular group. Because I actually just sat down with my buddy David, which I work with back at Shell, and I didn't even know this. Like he told me, like, yeah, I was raised Mormon, like, but I kind of came away from it because I just didn't agree with certain things. And I'm like, damn, dude, like I didn't even know. Like we were having lunch like a couple of weeks ago, and he was telling me, and like I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, you're part of that group for like no, dude, like what I mean. Like I'm listening, he's listening to me, and that's just what, like, I think essentially, like, if something sticks, great. If something doesn't, then oh well. So I think I had a good takeaway from that conversation, because I never met someone that actually is from that community.
I've never have either, man. Honestly, bro, I don't think I've ever actually met a Mormon. I met a Jewish person. I met Catholic, Baptist, like you said. And honestly, that was kind of trippy, bro. If we're going from like the Catholic, like very, I don't want to say somber, but very like kind of like that kind of like that. I think going to like my boy's church, my boy Josh, out to Josh, and it's very lively and it's very everyone's up and everyone's moving around, and it's kind of like, and music's such a heavy thing, and I'm just kind of like, man, this is so like such different. You know what I mean? It's so different.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, so you were talking about like going to different churches. How long did you spend doing that? How long did you spend like going to different stuff?
Yeah, like 2011, dude. Like a whole year. Like I'm telling you, I went to a lot of them, and I was just like, because I was in search of the truth. Like I want to see the truth, and I was
that makes sense to me. Like seeing you the way you are now, that makes sense to me. That you did like the due diligence and like research.
Yeah, you have to, man. It's just like with anything. Like you can't just believe what this person says. Like you got to cross-examine. And the Bible says that too. You got to cross-examine sometimes. And it's just like, if you don't, like, it's just, that's how cults start. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm very, like, I know a lot of people that are real, like teachers of, I call them teachers of the law.
Okay.
And like, I disagree with a lot of things that they have to say. Like, for example, the Sabbath, you know, like, oh, we should be keeping the Sabbath. Yes, we should. But let's face it, like sometimes we have jobs we're working on Saturdays. Sometimes we have situations that arise in T-ball. Should we try to, again, as believers, should we try to keep the Sabbath? Yeah, when you can, yeah, for sure. But I don't think it's a commandment. You know what I mean? And again, I'm gonna get grilled for this, but you know, to each their own. And to my understanding, the Sabbath was for the Jews. You know, so again, that's an argument. But again, you have these people that just think, no, like you got to keep all the commandments. It's like, all right, bro, try your best to keep them.
This tough.
I'm
Yeah,
like, yeah, because it's like it's not just the 10 commandments. Like it goes farther, and that's why again, Jesus came during a time because he knew that the Jewish people, that the Israelites were not able to keep them, and that's why again he absolved everyone's sins, took and bore them, their infirmities and everything else, and that's why he was crucified. And so that's my problem. Like with the Pharisees, you know what I mean? Like I call them teachers of the law, dude, because it's just like that's the same reason Jesus came to speak out against.
Would you consider that like extremist in a way?
Yeah, like a religious extremist is what I would call
It's
them.
dangerous, bro. That
And
just
now,
in general
granted,
is very dangerous.
You know, the Bible says that we shouldn't speak out against his people, right? And so like I'm not gonna bash them. Like if you wanna do that, great. But like when you come with this holier than thou attitude, that's where I have a problem with it. It's like be humble about it, bro. It's like it's fine that you're keeping the holidays, that you're doing this and you're doing that. It's great. But like why do you like shun other people that don't? You know?
Some Muslims are like that, bro. I watch a lot of like MMA, and there's like a lot of the Muslims be going hard, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like the people that are super down and like I want to call them extremists per se, but like the people that are like very strict with that are strict with it, bro. Where like there's fighters that won't fight during Ramadan and everything like that, bro.
There's people that are more devout to Islam, to their Islamic faith, than some Christians are to their Christian faith. And let me give you an example that actually happened here down the street now in Tidwell. I thought this dude was having like a heart attack or something, bro. Like I was driving down Tidwell, like literally 5 minutes from here, and because he was like on his knees and like bent over.
He was
like,
praying?
Yeah, he was praying. It wasn't until I got closer, so he stopped like in the middle of like the street. Well, not in the middle of the street, but like on the side of the street, and on like by an apartment complex.
Okay.
And he had like a little thing laid out. I don't know what it is. Like I said, I'm not familiar with
it's like a carpet or like a praying kind of like a mat almost.
Yeah, and then like, but at first I thought, you know, he was having a heart attack or something. So I pulled up on him. I'm like, hey man, are you all right? He's like, oh yeah, no, I'm just praying. But like, I feel like God allowed me to see that because it's like, I was like, he's like, this is how I want you to be for me. You know, and she's like, if he can do it, you know, if he knows this is his prayer time or whatever, why can't y'all?
I think they pray east, no, or something like that. They pray like to a certain part of the whatever room they're in. They pray to that kind of like thing.
Yeah, and so I was like, dang, dude, like, you know, and then he told me like, no, I'm just praying, but thank you. And I was like, man, dude, like, you know, I was like, there was something in that, right? And like, yeah, dude, like we have 24 hours in a day. And then I think about it, I'm like, how much of that time is actually allocated to prayer? How much of that time is actually allocated to just thinking about God? And before, like when I was just who I was before, like I never minded it. Now I try to pray over my food, you know, before I eat it. I'm thankful. I say grace. And you know, it's those small things that I've noticed like throughout the years. I was just kind of like a mindless oath. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna eat, like, you know, whatever, like food, you know, like almost like what do they call it, a caveman or something.
Exactly.
But yeah, dude, like I'm just kind of more thankful for everything, dude. Especially with this whole like COVID things, like it's like it was so unpredictable, dude. There was 3 weeks, like about a month, 2 months ago, where I was just bad, bro.
You were sick?
Yeah, dude. Like
I got pretty sick this year too, man.
palpitations and all that stuff, dude. Like they came back and yeah, bro. I was just like, man, I don't know what's gonna happen. But then those 3 weeks were over and like I was good.
I got pretty sick this year. I don't know what was going on, but you've been in my apartment. I live on like the 3rd floor, and I've been living there since like 2019. It's been a minute. So like going up the stairs is like nothing. I just run up there. I go with groceries. I got so used to it already. And I remember feeling like bad at work, and I was like, dude, I feel horrible. I gotta go home. So like we finished the day. It was an early day, and I'm like, all right, cool. And I'm going up the stairs, bro. And I like not even gonna lie to you. As soon as I get inside my apartment, bro, out of breath.
Really?
Out of breath. I'm like leaning on like the door frame to like where my balcony is, and I'm just like, dude, well, I thought I was dying, bro. I've never had that before, and I imagine it was COVID. I never got checked or anything like that, but all during the pandemic, I was good. I've never really like had it like that. I never lost any sense of smell or nothing like that. Earlier this year, I did. Whenever I came back from like Vegas, I had like I think I lost. What's this? Was it smell? I had my taste still. I think it was the smell, and I just couldn't smell anything. And I was spraying cologne, and I was like, bro, I can't smell nothing.
Wow. Yeah, more than likely was it.
It was tripping me out. And then, but that was back in January, and then I don't know if I still have lingering effects or what, but I got sick earlier, like I think back in like August, September-ish, and boy, that lasted for like a good like 2 weeks. But that day was tripping me out, bro. I was like leaning on the frame, and I was like, "Is this how I die?" I was like,
"Yeah, because it'll do it to you, man." Like I know because it's just like I can't even go to the gym like I used to anymore. And I used to go pretty hard at the gym, bro. But it's just like I can't even do that.
Is cardio? How's cardio?
Like I walk. Okay, I have gone to like to the treadmill and try to run like when I had the soccer team or the soccer league. I'm sorry. But it's so like I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like you're 80 years old. That's how you feel. And you just like any little activity, you just.
I was worried, bro, because like because my friend was also sick before we went to the trip, but we both ended up being like, all right. But the elevation in Colorado is pretty intense.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense, man. You could definitely feel it. Like even just driving up there, like ears popping, like just you could definitely feel it. So there was like a day where I adjusted, where like I think we got there at midnight, and then the next day they were like, oh, let's go get like coffee or something like that.
Yeah, it takes a couple of days. Yeah.
So we were walking, bro, and like as we were walking like a little uphill, I was like, dude, this is like labored like crazy. And I was like, oh, it's windy, this and that. So. After like a day, I think after like a day and a half, I was like good to go. And I was like, we went to like hikes and stuff like that, and I was perfectly fine. But that initial one, I was like, whoa.
And that's why they say boxers train in high altitude cities, because they get more of a strenuous exercise, and it builds their what do they call it, their vitality up.
Dude, I remember when I'll never forget this. Whenever the UFC first went to Mexico City.
Okay.
And people were just vomiting, bro. That's how like intense it was, because the altitude was crazy.
Yeah.
The altitude was insane, and they were just kind of like, no one came out to train before. Like they were super unprepared, and they were just like, bro, people were like vomiting in the cage type stuff.
Apart from like just the
Ooh, my bad.
No, you good. Apart from just like the altitude, dude, you have all the smog, bro.
Yeah.
Like, because the way the city's structured, because like we're from Mexico City. So like the way the city's structured is like big old just mountain ranges, like, and so like you can see literally as you're flying in, you can see all the smog, all the pollution, and like basically I'm sure that kind of attributed it to
probably
as
well. Dude, so your family's from Mexico City?
Yeah.
Chilangos.
Yeah.
Nice, bro.
Well, they call them capitalinos. But Chilangos is another term for people that come from outside. So let's say you come from Puebla and you stay there in La Ciudad de Mexico. Well, now you're a Chilango.
I've never been to Mexico, bro. That's one thing I definitely want to go. I would love to like go and stay for like at least 6 months. Yeah. And like really
take it in,
tap in, and really like be.
The
like,
food's great, bro. Oh man, food is great. Like by far, like los tacos, bro, and oh my gosh.
It looks everything looks fresh. My friend was there earlier. He went with this girl. He's Filipino, but his girl's Mexican, and like man, he said he loved it, dude.
Yeah.
I forgot what part they were exactly, but man, he loved it. He's like, everything felt like so like communal. Everything was like close to each other. Like he went to like, they got donuts and then went to the park, and then after the park they went to do this and everything. They went shopping. Everything was like within a block. They were just able to do everything.
It's like you take a better advantage of your day. My sister just got back from over there like 2 weeks ago, and you know they were from there. They were raised there. I was raised here, but then I would go on every break that I had like from school. So I can't say like but they missed it because they're like, it's so different, like it's life over there is so different. Like you take full advantage of your day, as opposed to here, it's like you go to work, you get home, it's like a routine thing. And it's like you just never have enough time to do anything.
No, bro, it's tough. And it's in certain cultures, I mentioned earlier, my boy Paul, who's in Korea. Well, I think now he's in the Netherlands, but he was in Korea for the longest.
Okay.
And he was telling me how, like, bro, like the Koreans be going hard at work, dude. Like they
Okay.
work like 11, 12-hour days, and their kids are the same way. He's like, dude, the kids will go to school after, like, immediately after school, English class.
Okay.
Gotta take English class. Then after English class, maybe like another tutorial of something else. And then after that, some kind of athletics.
That's good. That's good.
Like they use that they max out, bro. He's like, he's like, they'll just get home, eat, knock out.
Yeah, like
They do that like 5 days a week, just hard.
yeah,
like
when I was in Thailand, I was surprised to the amount of people that knew English. Like
Yeah.
I was like, man, I'm not gonna be able to communicate with none of these people. No, dude, it's like you said. Like Asians have this thing where it's like they want to further their education and they want to speak other languages. Because I was shook by it. I was like, what the heck? Like your English is pretty good. And I'm like how? I'm like, oh, we learned it in school, whatever. And it's just like, we just kept on, we have a lot of tourists. So I'm like, oh, that makes sense. I mean, like, it's just, you're getting ahead of the game.
It's not for sure, bro. Yeah. It's I would love to learn a different language. I know Spanish, and I think I've definitely gotten better at my Spanish. Because for a while I just understood it. And I didn't really I never really would speak it that often because my mom would speak to me in English. She would yell at me in Spanish.
Yeah.
And when I'd visit my dad, he'd only speak to me in Spanish.
Okay.
So it was very like a whole different thing. But I always understood what he was saying.
Yeah.
But vamos a comer, I'm like, all right, cool. Or he's like, vamos a misa. And I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
So I knew all that stuff. And with my grandma and my grandparents and stuff like that, it was very much just like, hola, ¿cómo estás? Bien. It's super simple. It wasn't until I started working that I like had to pick it up quick. And then learning from different people, like, bro, I had like a Puerto Rican manager who was like he was speaking so fast.
Yeah.
I was like, you gotta slow down.
Yeah.
Like, you have to slow down. And then now I work with like a couple of Cuban people, and then Honduran people, and then like other Mexicans and stuff like that. So like, just picking up the language more and really listening to music too, that kind of helped me out a lot, bro.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
Listening to more Spanish music as I
get
got
more
older.
familiar with the words and stuff like that.
So like now I'm pretty like comfortable with it. I definitely could like go to Mexico and like be all right.
Yeah.
But
good.
is there another language you would want to learn, bro, other than Spanish?
Like I think the hardest language I've come to know, like with people that I knew, was I don't know what they call it, but it's like people from the Virgin Islands.
Okay.
I never understood my coworker, Sean Benjamin, because he'd speak really fast and it'd be like a really choppy English, bro.
Ooh.
So I'd be like, I don't know what you just said, and I'd be like, and I, for the most part, I try my best to try to understand people, but with him, bro, I'd be like, all right, Sean, I'm like,
slow down.
You need to slow down for me because I have no idea what you just said.
So it was English though.
It was like their, I don't know, dialect or something, but like with a little bit of English. But they had like the dialect English, and then they had the full-on dialect, where it's like you're not gonna understand nothing that they're saying. So I was just like, that was fascinating to me because I was like, I've heard other languages, but this one is like very far out. I was
Portuguese be tripping me out sometimes.
Okay.
I do jiu-jitsu, and every time I'm at the gym, I'll like pick up on certain things that they're like the coaches are saying and stuff like that because they're all from Brazil, and I'll kind of understand here and there. Like, I remember one time I was rolling with this one dude, and he was a little older. He was gassed, bro. Like after like 2 rounds, he was super gassed. We were just drilling, and then she's just like, "What's wrong with him?" And the accents be killing me, and I'm just kind of like, I said like, "Está cansado," and she was able to like pick it up. She's like, all right, cool. She's like, "Tell him to get water." I'm like, all right, cool. But so I'm able to pick up certain things here and there. Or if they're talking about like my hair, whenever I was training, my hair would be everywhere. And they'd be say like cabello and stuff like that. So there's certain words, especially like watching UFC and stuff like that. I'll pick up on certain things.
Yeah, like I know Brazilians, like, because I used to keep up with the Brazilian national team for many years, and like their language is so unique, like, and so like I enjoy it. Like it sounds like, especially like for like when the women start speaking, like it sounds very like seductive or attractive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I can understand where you like think that.
I was gonna say, dude. So going to soccer a little bit. What are you thinking about this World Cup, man? What are you feeling about it? I talked to you a year ago about this.
Yeah. So I still hold.
I don't even know what the coach is.
Yeah.
I have
so
no
now
idea.
I think since then now they have Javier Aguirre with I think it's Rafa Marquez helping out on the side. But dude, I've seen them in these past few games, like these practice games.
It's been like draws, The like
yeah,
1-1s,
dude, just
0-0 type stuff.
Yeah, I'm just like, nah. I'm like, exactly what I thought was gonna happen was gonna happen.
Oof.
Because it's like, dude, I'm just like, it's not the coaches, it's the I'm gonna just say for what it is. Like they want to have people on the team that they can market.
Mm-hmm.
So if everybody knows who Ochoa is, people they can sell Ochoa more.
Jerseys.
Yeah, jerseys,
Everything.
whatever. Yeah, and the same thing. Like it's just like it's great to have big names and all, but it's just like if the team itself is no good, like
It just
what are we
falls
doing
apart.
here? Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
it just
what are we
falls
doing
apart,
here?
dude.
So it's like
My boy,
actually
my boy
excited.
Chicharito missed that free
Yeah,
that
bro,
penalty
man,
the other
I
day.
saw that, dude. I was like, oh my gosh,
God,
dude. I was like,
I was in Colorado and I was like, oh my God,
he
they're
should have
winning.
let the other guy.
I was like, oh, they're winning, thank God. And then I checked the next day and I was like, what is
Yeah.
this? Bro, I was heartbroken, dude.
Yeah, me
like,
too,
what
bro.
is
I
this?
was just like, dude, why? And I'm like, you should have just let homeboy take it.
Oh my
Like
God.
now he departed in a bad way because it's
Bro,
like
that's what I'm saying.
you
Yeah.
cost him the game, and now you're going to MLS. It's just like, dude.
It's a bad taste.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, for sure, bro. And I don't know. I was so disappointed. And I called my dad. I don't usually watch soccer anymore, like like Las Chivas, but I know he does. So I called him. I'm like, so what'd you think? He's like, nah, but
I didn't even want to text my dad, bro, because my dad's the one that got like he's from like Jalisco and stuff like that, so he's a super big Chivas fan, and they're always just like, bro.
Yeah, I'm surprised my dad's kept up with them all these years, bro.
I'm surprised too, because it's been rough.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, they had a good long bad hiatus, bro. Like
they're bad for a little bit, where I was like, man, like I'd pull up, he'd be like,
and then they finally had a good team this season, and then Chicharito ruined it, you know.
It would have been so cool if he made it though.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he would have definitely gotten a different send off. But now he's just a meme for the rest of his time,
bro.
bro.
For sure, bro.
They did the Interstellar one where he's like, no. That was a pretty funny one, bro. But yeah, I mean, just the national team, the Mexico national team is getting exactly what I know. Alan said that before. Is getting exactly what they deserve, bro.
So what do you reckon though? You think they'll get like out the group stage with Korea? I think they're the only them.
I mean, yeah, I think they'll get past the group stage just because again, it's not really a strong group or anything. But outside of that, I don't think so, man. You know, I'm Mexican, whatever you want to say it. They're not.
That's kind of how I am with it, man. Especially like keeping up with them, because I'll see them get the games, like you said. I don't know if they're called friendlies or what the hell, but I'm like, they're not doing much, bro.
No, it's just like, dude, these are professional players. Like I have. There's more talent in Los Barrios, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you have more fun watching a game here in Magnolia than some of those games over there on professional.
Well, I saw that some people are like, some Mexican American players are like, they're getting their passport, so they're able to play over there. Yeah. So hopefully, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, dude, at this point, like, yeah,
bro.
anything that's gonna add, you know, essence to the team, I'm all for it.
I'm all for it.
Doesn't matter if they're not, you know, Mexican. I'm just like, but yeah, they need a salvage. Like they're putting all their hope and faith in Raul Jimenez, but let's be honest, Raul Jimenez is 35, bro. Like he's
and I had him for fantasy in Premier League. No, bro.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So and again, it's, you know, it's just the fact. Like people want to be like, no.
Bro, so is Ochoa the goal? He's not the goalie.
No, I don't think so. It's gonna be. I don't know if it's. I forgot. Dude. Acevedo or the other dude from America. I can't remember.
I don't know anyone, bro. Honestly, because the thing I keep up with most is the Premier League right now, just because of fantasy and stuff, because of Arsenal, because I keep up with them. But I don't really be seeing no Mexican brothers over there. I mean, the Jimenez is the only one. I think Lozano was in Italy, no, or something. He was in Napoli for a little bit, I think. Or
like I said, I stopped watching the national team like a couple of years ago, bro, because it was just the same thing over and over. But you know, I place the blame on the people. It's not so much them, because if the people stop supporting them, then they'd be in a bind. And they're like, oh shoot, we need fresh faces. There has to
be a change.
Yeah, we need to change this. But people keep going to stadiums. Like that says it all the time. Like la gente sigue comprando los boletos. They keep buying the tickets. They keep, of course, they're gonna keep doing what they're doing because that's what sells.
That's how, bro. Honestly, that's how most companies are, dude. UFC, WWE. I've been seeing it, bro, because like WWE is trash. I love WWE. I'm a huge diehard fan. Same with UFC, but like, bro, these prices are crazy.
Yeah,
like when I want to go see SmackDown in like San Antonio, boy,
you broke the bank.
Dude, we paid a lot. You talking about a firm, man, Klarna, all that. We were like, bro. I was like, this is insane, bro. And it's a good show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I saw my boy Cena for the last time, but like, it's still like, There's no reason why we should be paying these prices,
correct.
bro. Like, there's no.
They want to crowd and say it's inflation, but it's like inflation for what? You know what I mean? It's just like how much more expensive can the light be?
I think they're testing it, bro. I think they're legit testing how far they could push it, and then eventually it's gonna like just like collapse,
I'm actually
bro.
very surprised. Like it's still stayed afloat, like the actual sport of it. I'm like, but they know how to sell it.
They know how to sell it, yeah, for sure. I don't know, man. That and concert tickets too, bro. You know what's messed up? I don't know if you know who this is because like I barely like know her music like that. There's this lady named Pink Pantheress. Do you know who she is at all? She's like
I think I've heard of it.
She's like a TikTok. She's a singer. She has music, but they're all like her songs are all like a minute or two songs. They're catchy, but bro, so she's going on tour, and she's like, all right, what we're gonna do is I have to find the tweet, but she's just like, we're gonna do this thing where like if people, you know how people are like resell tickets and stuff like that's a big thing. They're like, we're gonna have a limit on it to where like if someone is reselling my tickets, it could only be sold for like my price. It's a limit almost. So like let's say for example her tickets are $60 or something like that, and you buy it and you're like, oh, I want to sell it to me. You could only sell it to me for $60.
Wow, that's
crazy. This has been a thing that they could have done for ever. And someone tweeted out and just like, bro, what? Like y'all haven't did this for? Cause bro, I used to pay like for resale. Oh man, depending on the venue, the ticket, it's a lot. So I'm just kind of like, man, y'all could have did this the whole time. This could have been. This is always an option. There's like, there's always been an option. There's artists don't choose to do it. I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. That's the first time I've ever heard of that.
It's wild, bro.
Fascinating. Cool.
It's wild.
Alrighty, man. Well, we're getting close to the end of it.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to share your Instagram handles? Or
yeah, if you guys want to follow me at CPHoustonXD, that's on Twitter. That's on. It should be on YouTube. That's on Instagram. CPHoustonXD. I do my photography there. If you guys are in the Houston area, hit me up. I'll do your photo shoots. Then yeah, the podcast, the Thinking Boy podcast, coming back. I'm on a bit of a hiatus right now. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I took like a month off. I think I'm in like a month and a half now. I'm gonna record with Danny. Shout out to Danny from Street Couch and my boy Ulysses from Inside the North Side. We're gonna do a little Houston heavy hitters episode for like Christmas, I think.
Cool.
I'll probably be like drunk for that, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'll be doing that, bro. But I appreciate you inviting me, man.
Yeah,
it's
no
good.
problem, man.
It's been good to catch up with you, man.
Likewise,
it's been a minute.
brother. Yeah. Thanks for coming on, bro.
Yes, sir. That's a good dab, bro. That is a good dab.
I'm from Pasadena, bro.
That's a good dab.